on the tree as well. He is up on the star at the moment already because he was such a huge supporter last year. He got into a bit war with Pop and Mitch, and it got a little bit messy. These guys, they bled. They bled. Like, they bled in this bit war. They were back and forth, and it was a real mess. But shout out to Vodicus, who's been supporting us hugely on the stream for a long time. I appreciate it. Bottom left-hand side, in our first qualifying match of the European playoffs of the 2018 has left the game. Our blue Protoss player from Infinity Gaming is Goblin, going up against the red Terran. To the top right from O Gaming, we have ourselves Marine Lord. Oh dear, Pop and Mitch is here as well. Hold them back! Don't let them get close to each other, guys. It's not pretty. Well, it's pretty for some, but... What's up, dude? Thank you for the, not just 15 months, but also being a tier 2 sub as well. I know a bunch of people are tier 2s, and not too many people, a few. Thank you so much for being so supportive, Volcus. Appreciate it, buddy. As we get this going, again, thank you to Fallen77 as well for that 2-month resub. I'm going to get you there soon. So I'm just doing some decoration right now so I can be ready to go in the break. Perfect. Okay, I'm done. So, Proxy Reaper to get started here in this TVP. As you do see, the probe is going to be coming along and having a little bit of a wander, trying to figure out what, of course, is happening here in these early stages. Starts to nibble on that SCV at the front. So, a little bit of damage, but 2 SCVs on 1 probe. It's a double team, and it works well to push that probe back. Factory is also going to be proxied here by Marine Lord. Why no Mana versus TLO? Because that's coming up as our next series. We're doing... basically, it's much more effective to do round of 12 match, round of 8 match. Round of 12 match, round of 8 match. Round of 12 match, round of 8 match. With the reason being, obviously it's just a lot better. It's just a lot smoother because then you only need 3 players available every 2 hours. So, instead of, now if we did Mana vs TLO now, Marine Lord would be hanging around for a whole long time trying to get things sorted out and stuff like that, so. Marine Lord versus Goblin, then we're going to do Mana vs TLO, then the winner of that versus Harstem, then Blyer Laser, winner versus Uthermal, then Clem Gung Fu, winner versus Denver, if we can fit it all in. If we can fit it all in. We'll see how we do, we'll see how the day goes. But that's what's up. We're not skipping any matches or anything, guys, and if we do not broadcast any, we will let you know the results as soon as possible. We plan to have all of the results from this tournament up tonight. We're not looking to drag it out or anything like that. If we don't have the time to cast or something like that because the day goes long, and in fairness, our first best of 5 was 2 hours long, then that is something we can do. Why is everyone asking me to increase the game sound? Has it just, like, dropped massively from the last series, or was it low before? I think the game sounds are okay, guys. I think... nothing's happening yet is all. I don't think it's actually a big issue. Because we've had these game sounds like this for like the last month, 2 months, 3 months, so... Alright, Cyclone, Marines, and Medevac always coming along and getting ready to get going with this one base all in. Goblin currently just chrono boosting out his warp gate, so doesn't have that yet. Does have an immortal though, so obviously that will help. And we see a siege tank as a follow-up as well. To Adept and the Stalker getting ready to go as we see the Cyclone locking on, and again SCVs and Marines pressing up this main natural ramp. The Siege Tank will help a lot with this because it will do consistent damage over time, obviously, at a distance, and that would be big. Oh, it would be big, actually. Getting this pylon and powering that gateway would actually be really nice here. And that pylon is going to go down before the gateway can even finish morph into a warp gate, so no warp in available. And Goblin is in some trouble as Marine Lord is maybe sick of playing longer games. Wants to play something a little bit faster and more aggressive here as that Cyclone takes a couple of shots. Has to pull back a little bit. Cybernetic Score taking some damage. Gateway obviously going to be in some trouble too. Cybercore going down is big because now you can only warp in Zealots off of the one gateway that you do have. So that's a little bit of an issue. That tank's still firing, and we are going to be seeing that warp gate taken down. Marines jump into the bunker, and the Nexus taking some damage as well, as Marine Lord looking very good at the moment. Continue to make some continue to get some action in all of this. A couple of models in the War Prison, but the Nexus is going to fall. Now remember, obviously Marine Lord is still on one base back at home, so just losing the Nexus isn't necessarily the end of the world yet. As Marine Lord will continue to press forwards, though. What came out of the starport next? It's just been a medevac and lib. Did he have something else? No, he's just not producing off the starport. Just tanks and Marines. Ah, man, those Immortals keep taking shots, so they're never getting the chance to regen their shields. Their barriers just got activated again as well. That is very, very painful. Liberator sieging up once more. Both of those tanks sieging up on the high ground now. Bunker coming down. It sort of forces Goblin to fight almost, because if these bunkers come up, it's only going to get worse for him. It's not going to get better over time. And honestly, I feel as though it's maybe too far gone already. The tank's dropping down. They will get now 2 of the tanks. Oh no, the Immortals, they haven't found that last tank yet. Okay, there they go. There's still a lot of Marines up and alive, and that Stalker on the top side goes down too. Well, you know what? 3 Immortals still saved here. Marine Lord's picking away at pylons. Reinforcements coming in. Locks onto the Prism. No scan to be able to see further. Obviously, only 1 orbital, so his scans are limited and might even just be prioritizing dropping mules at home for the economy. Might also save a scan all the time now, just to make sure in case DTs come up. I'm not sure what my mouse just... What is my mouse doing? Ah, stop. Okay. Sorry, guys. My mouse just started flying over the map. I mean, we see the Prism just going to back away through the south, and, well, Marines and so on still pressing the main base. The Liberators here, the tanks are still around. The Immortals are thinking about maybe going to get the production structures, which I wouldn't be against. They could also go across the map. If 2 Immortals go across the map, they'd obviously shut down SCVs, but obviously then you don't have very much at home to defend either, right? And that's the issue with going and counterattacking in most circumstances, but especially now, it would be very tough to hold off. Right, I mean, at the moment, these Immortals aren't doing anything anyways. They will come in for the flank, as he will come in from 2 angles to try and make this happen. Cyclone locks onto the Prism again. 1 Immortal down, the 2nd Immortal falls as well. I think this is just too much now. Even if this Immortal survives, there's still a bunker. Well, another tank shows up. The Prism goes down, though. That's a huge amount of micro potential lost. Tank will siege another Liberator. And he's actually going to be able to push those units further and further into a corner. And that's exactly what he's doing, to the point where he gets the Liberator onto the mineral line, perhaps. So he's going to siege on top of the Adepts there. Still somewhat feeling as though the... Gateway units are going to be an issue as well. Realizes that this army's coming back around, so he's going to go for it again. The tank, well, has those Adepts on top of it, but the Immortal goes down. The tank survives, and I think that is really the game changer. The Prism comes out with only 3 Stalkers left. I mean, there's just no way, because this Robo doesn't survive long enough to get another Immortal as well. Man, a real fun push here. A real fun attack, and actually, honestly, very close defense from Goblin. He very nearly made this work, I feel. Viking lands as the tank falls. Obviously, the Liberator's trying to push that Prism backwards as it micros the Stalkers back up. I mean, the Nexus is about to go down, though. As the Nexus falls, Marine Lord more or less secures his victory in this game. Viking lands as well, get as much damage as he can, just finishes off the Nexus. I mean, no new Nexus can be built here. And, well, I mean, Stalker micro is going to have to be... Even if the Stalker micro is perfect, realistically, you can't even... The most you can get is a draw as Goblin, but obviously it's just never going to be that good. I mean, if people could micro Stalkers that well, Protoss would never be losing a tournament, right? Like, it would just be... Alright, let's do this. Game number 2 as we get started to the top right-hand side of Automaton with our red Terran player who is up a game in this best of 5. This is Marine Lord. Bottom left, our blue Protoss player. We have ourselves Goblin. Marble Street. Ay. Well, Marine Lord will start it with the proxied barracks again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he's going to go into the second game of the proxy racks. Now we'll see if it's going to be the straight up same build. Honestly, if it was, it's still not a guaranteed win, right? Like, that game was close. I feel like Goblin was a couple connections here and there away from making that happen. I mean, it couldn't have been much closer, right, overall? Definitely couldn't have been. Would have been tough. As we see, this Rax is about to finish up over on the left-hand side. Cybernex Core drops down in the main base. So Cybercore getting going here as well. As across the map, we do see a couple of refineries setting up, getting ready to go. Probe nibbling away at a few of these SCVs as well. It's just dealing a little bit of damage there. As we do have the probe on the bottom side of the map from Goblin is just continuing to kind of scout on along the bottom, seeing what's going down. Oh, I love this build. The Ghost Academy coming in. He's floated the racks up into the main base, and he's building a tech lab. So this is actually really fun. So I actually got a little bit of a lecture on this build. This was the special build, apparently. Now, what you do is you're generally, apparently, Special told me you're meant to make a Reaper first, because if you don't make a Reaper first, it kind of becomes a question of, well, what is he doing if he isn't proxying if he isn't proxy, if he isn't making a Reaper. So it already becomes a bit of a moment. But also, I mean, it kind of looks weird because as Goblin leads, he doesn't know the factory's built here just late. So that's interesting too. Now the first ghost coming up. There's Zald's looking around, and we'll see the Ghost Academy in the moment. This ghost is about to pop. There's no cloak on this ghost. So he's just going to be waiting, and now he's going to go forward. So he's just going to come straight in. He EMPs. The reason for the EMP, he's not going to cloak up anyways. He's just looking for probe kills. And the EMP makes those probes one-shottable. No shield battery, so he doesn't need to EMP that. And that's the magic of it, because if there is a shield battery, you can EMP the shield battery, and then there's no healing on the probes either. And as we see, this Adept is in some trouble, actually. This Ghost is going to be able to pick that Adept off, as probes not having the best time so far. Second Ghost shows up, and now there's another Adept that's going to get sniped. Goodbye. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I mean, an Immortal, maybe? Ghost will not kill an Immortal, but can you afford an Immortal? These probes have had to run away hardcore. And that is game number 2. Marine Lord just wins it just like that, my friends. It was in the chat and watching, and he was saying, like, well, you know, I like to make the Reaper first because then it still looks like it's kind of just a normal proxy Rax and so on. Obviously, the meta's developed a little bit since then, so I guess it's not really so crazy. And especially after the first game, it's kind of a really nice kind of mind game as well, isn't it? Pretty cool. Alright, guys. Getting this underway. To the bottom right-hand side, our red Protoss player is Goblin. Down 0-2 in this best of 5. So the top left, our blue Terran, Marine Lord from O Gaming. Guys, it just came up in the chat, so I'm going to mention it just early in the game. One of our new sponsors for this month is Harry's. You can exclamation mark Harry's to get the link. If you're in the USA, Canada, or if you're in the UK, you can get a starter set for a discounted price via my link. I think in the UK it'll be discounted to the price of only having to pay for postage. And every purchase directly supports the stream. They're a shaving company that looks to give you a fairer price on your high quality shaves. So check that out. Exclamation mark Harry's in the chat. And do appreciate it. If you guys do decide to purchase through there. If you purchase through there, I'll also put you up on the tree. How about that? It's like a win-win. Woody, I saw you in the Root for Root website squad. I didn't know you were part of Root. I've been part of Root for a couple of years almost. It's one of those just mutually beneficial deals. My stream numbers help them out a lot. They give me a little bit of something that helps me out. I'm not going to lie, I don't do a lot for Root. I don't play in Clan Wars or anything crazy. Like, I don't try and be competitive. I'm just kind of part of the Root team. But in a very casual sense. But just still nice. I like it. They're a good group of people. If we ever had more Root content and stuff, then I'm sure I'd be more involved in it as well. Are Mana and TLO playing right now, or is it all after this match? Mana and TLO are not currently playing. They are playing live after this matchup. And coming in straight after Marine Lord Goblin is a proxied factory after this time, after the Reaper is built at home. But the one thing you do see here as Goblin is double gas, so you're already somewhat aware. You scouted this Rax that was in the corner. You're somewhat aware that this is probably aggression, but you don't necessarily know the factory's proxies. As you see the Adept is coming in to push that Reaper away. Reaper not able to get up to that high ground just yet. I'm never playing StarCraft again until people stop doing that Ghost Rush. I'm sure everyone is going to be doing that now after last game. Or you could just scout your main base if you realize there's no barracks on the other side of the map to check for that possibility. And then you can see it, Chrono Boost out a Stalker and have a very good time killing the ghosts. Kind of like a win-win. Reaper comes in here, Adept just patrolling at the front, as we do see Medevac and a couple of Widow Mines on the way out here for the moment from Marine Lord. Just getting ready to bring those over towards the main base as this Adept from Goblin continues to scout around, seeing what's going on. So this, again, this proxied Widow Mine drop going to hit nice and quick. And you know what? There's no detection to deal with the Widow Mines right away. The Phoenix are going to be out of position to lift them up and stop them coming in. In effect, I feel this should be a decent setup for Goblin, but I feel as though... I'm not sure. I feel as though it should be good for him, but it's just not going to be. And also the fact he doesn't respond at all makes it even worse, obviously. 9 workers down. Again, the Phoenix should be able to chase the full medevac kill. The Widow Mines will try and spread out to minimize and maybe hopefully get an extra shot off. Because there is a good chance that these Widow Mines do get another shot if it takes a while to kind of go from here to here to here to kill them all. What is Goblin doing, actually? Okay, he pulls probes against this one. The Phoenix lifts up this one to the left side. Is it going to drop down again? Okay, it is going to get killed. This one to the top, though, is going to come off cooldown and is not going to be visible. Kills an Adept. Really nice. And now the Reaper is still going huge. 11 workers killed overall as Marine Lord gets some very good, very early damage dealt. And he takes a lead here in game at number 3. Marine Lord already up 2-0 in this qualifying match. This series, not quite as exciting at the moment as our last series turned out to be. I mean, again, this series did start out in a very similar way to that last series where it was very, the games were very kind of one side towards Marine Lord, and then Cass was able to kind of make it a very exciting series from there. So maybe Goblin can still fight back and find a way, as we will see these Phoenix, you know, they will get another medevac kill. So in fairness, while he lost a bunch of probes, he is finding some damage, at least recalls the Phoenix to deal with the Liberator, which gets 5 workers though. 2, 3 Phoenix here to get rid of it. 7 workers going down. It just feels like the pressure and the damage is piling up though, and the chances and the opportunities for Goblin to get back in this game are beginning to fade away quite quickly. They are beginning to kind of disappear. So that is becoming a bit of an issue as we have that Robo base setting up now on the natural expansion. So Goblin making his choice for tech here. With the Phoenix often come the Colossus, so wouldn't be all that surprised. He has still picked up a few of these Widow Mines that have just kind of popped out at the time. This factory and starport are somewhat stranded as well. Means that is just bioproduction on the top left-hand side of the map. Although he could build a new starport if he wanted to. Starts to build another Widow Mine. Another Widow Mine. But I mean, this time the Phoenix should just kind of get rid of it straight away. I mean, Marine Lord just cancels, rebuilds. He's just kind of forcing the Phoenix to stay here almost. And to kind of stay worried about this and to kind of, you know, keep Goblin's attention present at this factory because he doesn't want the Widow Mine to finish and to catch him off guard. That would be an absolute shame. So again, just cancels, starts again. The Goblin has to keep on. I mean, let's look at Goblin's vision. So you can see his vision is right here. He's waiting for that Widow Mine. Pops back, and he's waiting for the Widow Mine. Pops back, waiting for the Widow Mine. Pops back, waiting for the Widow Mine. He is waiting for that Widow Mine so hard right now, and it's just never going to show up, buddy. Ever. Colossus on its way out, so it is going into that next stage of his tech tree. Marine Lord, though, feeling pretty comfortable to get that third command center started. Again, the one negative here from Goblin, from Marine Lord, sorry, is a Widow Mine does come out, and hey, Goblin does catch it. The one thing here from Marine Lord is he does have that factory and starport stranded, so while it is causing a bit of disturbance, he does have to rebuild the starport. At least it does mean he's going to be factoryless. He won't have any Widow Mines in his main push, at least for a good portion of time, as this Widow Mine gets out and tries to burrow, but Goblin is on top of it. Man, these Phoenix are just not doing anything, though. I mean, they've got so much energy that could have been killed SCVs. Just general harassment, medevac cord while it was popping out. Well, I guess there was no medevac popping out because it was here. Although there are new starports obviously up over there. Scan comes down. Marine Lord is happy that this is a 2-base play and says, well, you know what? If you're on 2 bases, I'm not going to attack into your 2 bases. Like, that would just be... It's just not worth it. Like, there's just no reason for me to kind of commit to that, so... These Phoenix coming up towards the, or through the center of the map. Marines catching a little bit of damage there. One Phoenix already getting tagged up just a little bit. Colossus and Phoenix continue to come out here as well, as we do see these 2 medevacs. They are going to start coming down the left-hand side. Factory and a starport from Marine Lord floating away into that bottom left-hand corner, as we do see these Phoenix from Goblin going to be coming back towards the natural. So they're going to hang out over there as Marine Lord begins to unload these Marines and Marauders. Getting those set up at the moment, so getting this ready to go again. The Phoenix is going to be coming up through the top side. Colossus on the way out, still building up that number, but Marine Lord is just expanding on a lead here. 9-worker lead against a Protoss player is fantastic. Usually that's where the Protoss player wants to be. The one thing that maybe is scary for Marine Lord is some sort of big 2-base push, but even then, if we look at Goblin's army, you can see there's no charge, there's no blink. It's just not that good. It really just isn't. I love that this starport in the factory have just hidden in the bottom left now, and they're going to build reactors and add to this. He's actually going to end up on double reactive starports, so he can actually pump out a whole bunch of Vikings to start countering the Phoenix Colossus composition. It's kind of genius. And we've seen the bio just simming away a little bit as a few Adept shading through. Drop into the main base though, and that's a dead robo facility. Just no defense available there in time for Goblin. He'll lose a few works with it as well. I mean, this is one of those situations where it's almost just not worth picking up your med units because the Phoenix will just chase those medevacs down and get the kills anyways. This army pokes in over here. Still no third base there though, so he even gets a Colossus with this. This medevac will try and boost away, but 10 probes, a robo facility, a Colossus. None of this is working at the moment for Goblin. Everything is just Marine Lord getting more and more damage, getting further and further ahead, and getting into a better and better position as we see Resonating Glaives on the way up on this Twilight Council. 4th Command Center builds over to the left-hand side here, so getting that started. Adept Stalkers and Colossus coming forwards as well. A little bit of bio going to spread out. See just what it can do. Marines keep on spreading out as well. A few Vikings begin to gather up together. Goblin just comes all the way towards the left-hand side here. Maybe he wants to move up towards the top. Doesn't just yet. Goblin going to continue over. That's going to be a 4th base, which cannot be saved, quite frankly. And will be denied. So 4th base going down. Phoenix got a bit of a wonder. We'll find a Viking. Still a little bit worried, actually, for Marine Lord here in terms of defense. He's got 1-1. That will obviously help, but he's losing his Vikings that are going to be one of the big parts of defending against the Colossus. But Marine Lord stims in, and that first Colossus goes down already. Now there's barely any splash damage really available, so the kind of concern drifts away very quickly, doesn't it? As we're going to be seeing SCVs will pull in just in case, but I don't actually think they're all that necessary. GG is called, and Marine Lord shuts it down 3-0. No